Lovely, 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 lovely. Trying to think what else. Oh, but I can show you what's happening to the grapes. I took video before, so I'll show you. I'll pop that in here. I think it was just last week's video where I talked about being very excited about getting some bunches of grapes this year. And I still am, but I'm questioning whether that's actually going to happen. I just walked by the grapevine and like out of nowhere, I've got this issue going on, and I'm pretty sure it's black rot after looking around, which means I'm somewhat mad, bummed out, because yeah, I think the plant's going to struggle all year, and now it's probably a systemic problem. And I don't like to spray much, but I do think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off these leaves. I'm going to dispose of them. I got a bag. I'm going to tie up the bag, and then I'll disinfect the scissors that I cut the leaves with some rubbing alcohol. And then tonight, once all the pollinators go to bed, I will spray this down really good with neem oil and hope for the best. But yeah, a little bummed. Black rot basically not only affects the leaves like that, but it affects the fruit. So you get bunches of grapes where I don't know what percentage, but a lot of the grapes within the bunch are just, you know, all shriveled up black, non-edible grapes. So that would suck. And if I'm wrong about this and you know more about grapes, please share in the comments, because I'd love to learn more, and what kind of, especially if you know of any organic methods to treat this, or anything I can do to prevent this from happening next year. I'd super appreciate it. I do think that this happened because last year the grapes were absolutely stunning, or the grapevines themselves were absolutely stunning. I think the hard frost when they had just leafed out and having to push new leaves has weakened the plant. So maybe it won't be a problem every year, but we'll see what happens. The other thing that super sucks about this is that we're going to get a lot of thunder showers in the next, I don't know, week or so. And so it's really humid today, so high humidity and all this wet leaves is not going to help this situation at all. But it is what it is, as they say. So let's get chopping. I'm just going to remove the most impacted leaves right now and hope that we can, so I don't want to touch the other leaves with that. Hope that we can prevent this spread. I think the other leaves, I mean, I see it on them. Like you can see that leaf, you see all those little spots. I'm sure those are going to be highly impacted. There's some on this leaf, so I'm sure it's going to be a mess of a problem, and this thing is going to look like crap and not be very healthy at all this year. And I don't even know, I'll probably give it another year, give it a try. But if it happens again next year and it's bad and there's no grape production, I might just have to remove it. Look at, yeah, there's another leaf on that side over there. I'll probably grab that one too. All right. Sad but true. Yeah. Ooh. Where was that leaf? Ooh, yeah, look at all of them. Oh, boo-hoo. Yeah. Okay. All right. here, but I'll show you what's actually happening to the grapes from this disease, which is no fun. You can see, maybe you can't, but those black grapes in here, they just start rotting away. You see? No, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno. The onions are ready to harvest. I'm going to show you what I do, and it's super easy to tell when they're ready. They bend over. You start seeing some browning leaves, and basically the onion has stopped growing. So let's just get this started, and then I'll have this open bed, and I'm going to plant some summer squash plants into this bed, give them some more space. So I'll take you along for that. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to pull the onions and I'm going to let it sit here, and I'll talk a little bit about how we're going to store these and how we're going to cure them. Curing is a super important part, but for right now, let's just get started harvesting. So what I do is I'm just going to reach down and I'm going to loosen the onion. They come out fairly easy, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to wipe off some of the soil and then just lay it down. This is a nice big one. These are the onions that I planted from sets, which are baby onions. They look like baby onions, and the ones that I planted from plants, little seedlings, are not done yet. But look at that. That's a nice onion. You can see that it's starting to get the nice protective layer. Super simple. Just brush off the soil, lay it down. It's a weird one. Don't believe I've ever seen that happen before. Red onions. Definitely think the yellow onions did better this year than the red, but we'll see in the end. And let me show you real quick. So these obviously went to flower. You can see the flowers forming here. And I want to just show you the size of the bulb. And you can see that it just, yeah. That's the problem with sets. If you have this happen, you don't get a very good bulb. And we'll pull out another one just to take a look, but you see? So luckily I didn't have too many go to flower. I got decent sized bulbs. Like this guy's nice. Look at that. That one got planted way too deep, but did all right. Another wonky one. It happens. I always recommend using the wonky ones first because they're probably not going to store well, but they're still edible. Another nice size onion right there. See, this one could have been picked a long time ago, but it'll do all right. Ooh, I think this one's getting eaten. So sometimes when you leave them in the ground too long, that's what happens. So we'll definitely make sure to cut that bad parts off and use that one ASAP. So here's the hole. You know, not a ton, medium size mostly, a couple of big ones, but I'm happy with it. That'll be plenty for me for sure for the year, I would think, plus the other ones I have. So let's go take a quick look at those, and then I'll just show you some of the highlights of the garden. So here's the ones that I planted from plants, and you can see we got some really nice sized bulbs right there, and then a lot of medium ones as well, but I don't know, I'd say these are probably better, and they're still growing. We did have a lot of wind the other day, which knocked a lot down, so I'm going to leave those alone for a little bit longer and harvest them at a later date. But whoops, give you a better idea what this looks like. And then so on a nice sunny day, I'll just leave them out in the sun for the day, and then at night I'll bring them in. And I actually have just these milk crates. So what I'm going to do is bring these onions inside, and I'm going to lay these milk crates next to each other. The reason I'm using these is because they have a ton of holes in them, so it gets nice airflow. Basically, you don't want these moist, and you don't want them to rot because they're not drying quick enough. So I'm going to layer them on this crate and put a fan on them, and when the tops are all brown, I will trim off the roots, and then you can cut them with, like, you know, just a little nub at the top, about an inch leave. But I like to braid mine, so I might bring you along for that when I do it, because I like to braid it. I think it looks good, and you can hang them, get them out of the way, and just cut them as you need them right off of that braid. So I'll just give you a quick little idea of how it's dark in the house. So, but basically I'll just layer them like that, you know. and so on and so forth. And then I'll just put the fan on them and let them do their things, give them a couple weeks to dry out, and they'll be ready to store. All right, so let's just show you some pretty things in the garden. I wound up moving the rhubarb and it looked horrible. And I mean, it doesn't look great, but it certainly bounced back and pushed a bunch of new leaves, so I'm happy with that. These are the summer squashes that I'm going to transfer over, and when I do, I'll just basically take a huge hunk of the soil out and plant it like that, just so I don't shock the plants, because these don't like to be moved and have their roots disturbed. So I'm going to do as little as possible. We got some beautiful echinacea and Shasta daisies. The tomatoes are just rocking it this year. Everything looks, yeah, so healthy. Celery's looking good. Growing well, and it's getting shaded from the hot sun just like I wanted it to. You can see we got a bunch of tomatoes in there. I hope you can see that. But yeah, looking good. Bunch of tomatoes there as well. And here's my mom's tomatoes. See, she's got some baby ones coming on as well. Basil's looking beautiful. Her peppers are looking decent. They're starting to look like they got a little bit of disease, but she's got a lot of flowers on it. And she's got some baby peppers. So hopefully we'll do all right. And her summer squash is way further ahead than what I've planted, but I like to do successional planting with the summer squash because we have a problem with the squash vine borer. They just come, they decimate these. So hopefully we plant it late enough this year that we don't have that problem, but we'll see, and I'll show you if we do get it, okay? The kale is looking absolutely gorgeous. I thought this was a dwarf variety, but alas, it is not. And here's some more kale, which is looking awesome as well. I just got the eggplant in the ground, so that's not looking so good, but it'll pick up here. Look at that beet right there. That's gorgeous. And yeah, so I got successional beets, you know. These guys haven't been in the ground as long. The peas are pretty much done. I've been picking, a couple off a day, so trying to get as much as I can out of them. But yeah, echinacea is so pretty this time of year. Look at this guy going to sleep right there. It's like, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be right ready to eat. Strawberries under here, haven't gotten any. The animals crawl right underneath and get them. Cucumbers are taken off. Just planted these, and you can see I already got the baby cute down there, a little bit of cutie. So those are doing good. And let's see, I just think I saw a bigger pepper. See, there's a nice bigger pepper. Woohoo! Update on the sweet potatoes. Obviously we got a ton of new growth. Every single plant took off, so that's awesome. I do have some potatoes, regular potatoes growing from last year that I obviously missed a potato or two. These grapes are looking good. Carrots are popping out like crazy. I need to thin these out, so I'll start using these for juices, like pull out every other one, if you can see, and give the others space to really grow. And yep, pretty pleased. Yeah, this plant too, Lyastris blazing star, absolute pollinator magnet. Highly recommend this one, and it's really cool looking too. But yeah, sunflowers, these are looking nice. So, time to get the onions in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.